There we go. All right, day number leg day. So, had a rest day yesterday because we drove back from South Carolina, right? And we got back at like 9. All the gyms were closed, so I mean, fuck it, whatever, right? But that pretty much lines up with like how I approach rest days. I don't love the idea of like a planned rest day. Unless I'm extra fatigued for whatever reason. Let's say I got like zero sleep, maybe I'll take one. Or if I'm actually like sick with something, perfect time for a rest day. Or if I'm just fucking busy, boom, rest day. But otherwise, as long as I get enough rest, and I eat my meals, I'm ready to fucking train the next day. And that's how I've been doing it this whole time, ever since the beginning, right? You wake up every day, fucking, you take a dump every day, you can lift every day. That's just how I see it. But having a rest day isn't gonna hurt you. That's it's just whatever. That's just how I do it. So if you're doing like a 6 day, or if you're doing push pull legs like the Arnold split, and then you do a rest day, whatever, you're fine. Right? As long as you go hard, you'll make some gains. But let's get back to leg day. Oh, whoops. So going back to Metro, this will pretty much be the go-to gym for the summer, and it's fucking better than Planet Fitness. I tell you that, just from the like the variety of machines, plus the fact that there's actual big dudes around. It's you can get a good workout just lifting with like Gen Pop, but it's going to be a lot better for you if you're lifting with people bigger than you, right? It'll raise the bar subconsciously. So if legs, going to start off with hamstrings like normal, hamstring curls. I might do a little bit of RDLs. I don't know. I just haven't been doing them for a while. They were kind of bothering my adductors, so I've just been spamming the leg curls. But maybe I'll throw them in. Who knows? We'll see. Kind of go by feel with that sort of thing. And then quads. I'm gonna warm up on the leg extension for a few minutes, and then jump onto squats. I probably won't push the weight too hard, but I don't know. I mean, I feel pretty well rested. Ate all my meals yesterday, so maybe I will go hard. We'll see. But the lowest, like it's no matter what, it's going to be at least 5 plates for reps. So we'll just have to see whether or not I want to dabble with 5.5 or 6 again. Oh, let's make sure this fucker doesn't fall. And then after that, I'll probably just spam leg extensions. And they do have this hack squat machine that I like. So I think I'll get a ton of sets on there. By the time I'm done with that, quad should be fucking pumped to hell. So I can just drink this pre and get in there. All right, after about 10 minutes of light sets warming up, let's just throw around the stack for maybe 4 or 5 sets. Simple. That was a good one. Okay, so those leg curls felt pretty good. Heavy weight. I think I'm going to move on to more of a lighter squeezing movement now, though. So I've basically done this before, like this machine, where you're doing like a standing single leg curl. Because so what you can do is you can stand on a leg extension backwards, right? And you do one leg at a time. I'm not going to do it today because I've got this machine here. But let's say you don't have access to a leg curl, or maybe the leg curl of your gym's broken, right? You got to be able to think outside the box. I'd hate to totally miss out on hamstring training just because the gym doesn't have the equipment available. But I think 3 sets here, really try to squeeze it, should get a pretty good burn. Actually, let me fucking make sure the mic's connected. All right, enough of this whole stack mumbo jumbo. Drop it down to... Hey, quit ego lifting. So I was doing like 200 before. This is like 150. So now I'll just try to squeeze it. Double leg. Should be a good burn. All right, I'm just gonna spam. So I've got 4 more sets of hamstrings left. I'm just gonna do 4 sets of single leg. I'll just clip some of them together, but no need for any more commentary before quads. I sat on the leg extension for about 5-ish minutes, just gradually progressing in weight until my knees felt nice and warm. Because that's one thing, I mean, you don't have to have like legit knee pain for your knees to fucking hurt, right? If I didn't do any warm up and I jumped straight into heavy squats, my knees are gonna feel like shit, right? But if I spend a little bit of time, I warm them up, they're a lot more comfortable. So I'm gonna do 1 plate, and probably a few reps. Then I'll do a few reps of 2 plates, a few reps of 3 plates. Not doing legit sets, just getting exposed to the weight, and then we can jump straight to the top set. All right. Like butter. Not really feeling it. No squats for you today. I don't remember when I did it. I think it was in the beginning of this bulk or so. I did some heavy squats, and I didn't pull something, but I kind of just twinged like my adductor, like right in this area. And now every so often squats just kind of bother me. So rather than sit here and hurt myself, I'm gonna move on to leg extensions. And even without heavy squats, you've seen before, I still get a gnarly pump. Would I have rather done squats? Yes. Is it gonna kill me not to do them? No. Build strength in the quads, right? So kind of my logic, because if I were to just squatted, I would have only done 1 set. But that set would have been like as heavy as I can go for, however many reps, around 10. And I feel like that strength would translate to all these other lifts, right? But you got to think, I'm trying to do a bodybuilding workout for quads. So as long as whatever exercise I'm doing is hitting quads, and I'm going hard such that I get fatigued and get pumped, that's pretty much all I need to do. So I wouldn't mind doing a full leg day of leg extensions. Like if I had a hamstring curl and a leg extension in my basement, you'd be seeing a home gym leg day fucking every week. So let's just sit here and fucking spam them. I like single leg, just a preference thing. So this machine is fucking sweet. It's like no, what do I say? It's like hack squat meets cable stack. So it kind of has like a strength curve, or I think it's lighter at the bottom and heavier at the top. And something about that makes the movement feel a lot smoother. Like if I were to do these like Tom Platz style hack squats on the actual hack squat over there, you kind of build up a lot of momentum, right? It's almost like doing a dumbbell curl, right? Where you can kind of throw the weight up and like ride at the top versus like a cable curl where the tension's a lot more constant. But I think probably a set or two of these will feel good, assuming they don't bother the, this adductor kind of groin area. So let's throw it around. It's kind of funky to get in this fucking machine though. Oh, fucking hell, it's heavy. I think 3 sets of single leg. I'll just record the one. But I'm gonna do 3 sets of single leg, and then I'm gonna do 2 sets of leg extensions, supersetted into bodyweight sissy squats. So I really just spammed leg extensions to finish. Not really much to see. But, after you do some heavy quad exercises, for me today, instead of squats, that ended up being the freaking machine hack squat. Once you've done those, all I'm kind of going for is a fucking quad pump. So spamming leg extensions ends up being pretty effective, right? It's like doing tricep pushdowns for your fucking triceps, All you're doing is going from here to here, and same thing with your quads. You're going from here to here. But yeah, I mean, you're fucking pumped up. Boy, not too veiny, which I guess is a good thing.
Woo. How the hamstrings look. You can't really see much hamstring definition when you're pumped, right? Like if my quads weren't pumped, you'd see a little bit more lines and stuff. But, oh shit. Yeah, what up, man? That was, fuck. That was Josue. I was talking about him in a video a while ago. But whatever. Quads have been pumped to hell. I'm gonna do some calves and then get out of here.
There we go. Legs pumped, hamstrings tight. And it's only 4:15. Holy crap. That's crazy for me. It's a fucking fuck. Dude. So I got this little mic, right? The one on the fucking hat. It connects to the phone. I plug it in. I dropped my phone in the bath. I was doing like an Epsom bath, and every so often it just hasn't been charging right. I think I got to get in there with like an alcohol wipe or something just to clean out whatever is fucking me. But yeah, man, those those sissy squats on that machine hack squat, in terms of pressing movements, I think that's my fucking favorite. Right? I'm almost kind of upset that I'm about to start a cut in a few weeks because I won't be able to make use of that machine for legs, you know. Because when you're cutting, all you're doing is maintaining your muscle, right? All you're doing is trying to maintain what you built, right? And then trim the fat, you know. So you're not going to build any muscle if you're losing fat. That's just not what's going on. Now, if you're fucking 300 pounds untrained and then you start lifting weights and like watching your diet, then you will build a little bit of muscle while losing fat. But that's its own thing. I'm not going to get it. I'm not a fucking dietitian, you know. But like for the layman lifter, you know, sub 200 pounds or so, if you're losing body fat, you're not going to build muscle, right? So how I kind of look at it is like these workouts where I'm bulking, right? These are probably the most important in the sense of making progress, you know, because I'm trying to like go pretty much as hard as possible, make sure I'm totally fueled up, well rested, such that in the gym I can like give myself the most stimulus for muscle growth, right? I can just, it's like a, what am I trying, what's a good analogy? I can't even, whatever. I'm trying to be able to go as hard as possible, for the most part, you know, ideally as hard as possible, every lift, and recover as well as possible so I can build the most muscle, right? But once I start dieting, you know, the lifts aren't, like, this doesn't sound good to say. Uh, or rather, this sounds like it could be taken a little bit too far if you were to listen to this. But the lifts when you're dieting are not so important in the sense of they don't require so much preparation, you know. Because when I'm doing like when I'm lifting in a bulk, I want to eat at least like 3 meals, be well rested, make sure I drink a fucking ton of water, and just like wait until I feel ready to lift. You know, I want to lift at like at the earliest maybe like 3 o'clock or something, right? So that I can just have spent all the time before then getting ready for the lift, essentially, right? Fueling up, making sure I'm nice and carved up, and then I've got long enough to digest all those meals and like not have a full stomach, right? But you know, in a few weeks once I start dieting, you know, the amount of prep that goes into my lifts it's just a bit less. You know, I don't have to worry about being full of carbs because I'm trying to fucking, you know, be flat and not eat a lot. So I'd say what makes a lift when you're bulking feel the best, right, is when you're nice and full, you've got some carbs, well hydrated. That goes for bulk and dieting. But you know, when I'm dieting, the only thing I really care about in terms of you know, prep for the lift It's just making sure that I'm well hydrated, you know, because you're already basically lifting with your tank on empty when you're trying to diet. So what the fuck? What's the logic? What am I even trying to say here? Whatever. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. But when I'm bulking, or when you're bulking, make sure you eat a lot of food and you're well rested. Then you're gonna have a good lift. That was a fucking rant of all hell. Let's just drink the dextro shake and talk about something else. Jesus, my brain's fucking fried from that leg day. Oh, oh. All right, that didn't go down too bad. Oh. So, if I were to ask you what your leg day consists of, what are you gonna tell me? If I were to guess, let's say you're just like a lifter, maybe late high school, early college or so, that kind of demographic, which I think like 40% of you are. If I were to ask you your leg day, I'm sure you'd probably tell me, uh, a couple of quad exercises like pressing, maybe squats, leg press, leg extension for a few, maybe. Maybe a little bit of calf raises. But I'm almost certain that you would tell me that you do less volume for your hamstrings than for your quads, right? And I just don't. Well, actually, I do get it, right? You don't really see your hamstrings, right? You only it's fucking the back side of your legs. All you really see is your quads for the most part. So I can understand why somebody would think, well, like, who needs big hamstrings? I even fucking thought that. If I let's time travel back to my days in the high school lifting, right when I started, I don't think I trained hamstrings for months. Like literally, probably the first, I think maybe 5 months, I didn't do any hamstring training because literally, I fucking thought to myself, why do I need big hamstrings? So my leg day was just quads, right? But like any good lifter, I learned, I fucking learned shit that you need to fucking hit your hamstrings. Right? It's just gonna give your leg a more full look. It's just fucking good for you. I can't. Whatever. It's good for you to have fucking big hamstrings as well. So why would you do 10 sets of quads in your quad workout and only 3 sets of hamstrings? What? It's your hamstring is a big ass fucking muscle, right? Right. It's the fucking opposite of your quad, right? That's like doing 10 sets of triceps and then 3 sets of biceps. I don't fucking understand, Every muscle pretty much deserves an equal amount of work, you know? Unless you're the only outstanding case would be if you have some kind of genetic phenomenon or some kind of genetic outlier where like your fucking chest is massive for whatever reason, so it doesn't really need much work. You got to let everything else catch up, right? But assuming that everything's within proportion, it doesn't make sense for you to just do a few sets of hamstrings. I For me, I pretty much do 11 sets for every muscle group per lift, right? And that balances out to about like 20 sets per week. So, like when I go into an arm day, it's 11 sets of tricep pushdowns, or well, triceps is 11 sets total, and within that, maybe 3 sets of straight bar pushdowns, 3 sets of the rope, maybe 3 sets of machine dips, or some skull crushers. I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But the total volume per lift is pretty much about 11 sets. So I did the same fucking shit today. 11 sets of hamstrings and 11 sets of quads. Now, if I were to recommend a volume range for you. Let's say you're doing, let's say you do push pull legs, right? Or I kind of like the split I'm doing where it's legs, chest, back, and then arms. Now, that's just what I do because I've been skipping shoulders. My shoulders are kind of big already. I just kind of throw them in sometimes. But if you're doing shoulders, I would probably do shoulders with either chest or arms. In both cases, after chest or after arms. But whatever split you're doing, as long as you hit everything about twice a week, I would say you should only do about 8 to 12 sets per body part per lift, right? By the time I've done, well, I just do 11 because for whatever reason that just makes sense in my mind. Like that's just what I like. But, you know, by the time you've done 8 to 12 sets hard of chest, let's say you start off with heavy bench, maybe move on to a heavy press, maybe do some pec deck, and then some cable flies to finish. By the time you've done 8 to 12 sets, you should be fully pumped. And for the most part, once you're fully pumped, assuming that you did, a reasonable amount of volume, there's not much else you can do. You understand? Like after I was done with that 11th set of hamstrings, if I were to do another 10, I would get nothing out of it, other than perhaps extra lactic acid buildup, and I would just probably be extra sore and like overworked. I've said this before. I think I need maybe I'll put a little infographic up right here. If you do 0 sets, obviously you're going to get 0 gains, right? And if you do 1 set, you can get a little more gains. 2 sets, a little more probably. And then it'll gradually increase and hit there's a peak somewhere is the ideal number of hard sets, which is going to give you the most muscle growing stimulus after you go home and you eat your food and you sleep, right? But it's not going to look like an upward slope forever. An infinite amount of sets is not going to mean infinite gains, right? So probably 0 reps or 0 sets is 0, and then it'll peak at what pretty much a lot of people are going to agree with is about 8 to 12. And after you start doing more of that, it's probably just going to slowly decline. And then I guess if you were to go into the gym and do an infinite number of sets, that'd probably kill you. Well, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, if you were to do an infinite amount of sets, gains are probably going to go to 0. So 0, you understand what I'm saying, right? 8 to 12 is about right. And honestly, I'm sort of starting to think that I should, like, when I pick 11 sets for a chest day, that's just what feels about right. And the same thing with everything else. But I think one step ahead in terms of becoming more of an enlightened lifter is I might change my volume up just depending on the day, right? Like, let's say, honestly, quads were feeling pretty much pumped on set 7, right? After I did that, the 3 sets of leg extensions to start, and then the 3 sets of what's the fucking those sissy squats on the machine hack squat, and then I did another set on another set of single leg extensions. By the time I did that 7th set, I was pretty much just fucking pumped. So, did I get any benefit by doing more sets after that? I'm not totally sure. This isn't like an exact science. But for the most part, if you're sort of looking at your own split training style and you're trying to, analyze it in terms of whether or not it's good, it's worth thinking about. Like maybe you should try to emulate what other people are doing. If you're like a total beginner and you're trying to make a split or whatever, I would definitely watch some Jeff Nippard stuff. I was watching him when I started. He's got a ton of super good information, really easy to digest. But as long as you go hard and you get a pump, you're definitely doing something right. And then over time, your training will just improve as long as you put a little bit of thought into it. Considering if you're a lifter, all your social media is going to be about lifting. So it's over time, it's just going to be on your mind throughout the day. So I'm going to go home, eat some more food, probably take a fucking nap, and then chest day tomorrow, which I may end up going light. I don't know. I kind of hurt myself a little bit on the last chest day. So I will see how it feels. So I'll see you next time, goddammit.